Welcome to Mind Your Health podcast, dedicated to empowering you on your journey to optimal wellness. I'm your host, Dr. Connie, bringing over 25 years of experience in psychology, nutrition, physical therapy, functional medicine, and yoga. Together, we'll explore the interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit, providing you with the practical insights and holistic strategies to elevate your health. Let's dive into today's episode and take a step closer to a healthier, more vibrant you. Hi guys, welcome to Mind Your Health podcast. This is Dr. Connie. I hope you guys are all doing well. We've had a weekend of snowstorm where we shut down everything in Atlanta from Friday to Saturday. We lost power. It was freezing cold, but super fun and cozy at the same time. Wherever you guys are, I hope you guys are feeling good and staying healthy in this cold weather months. We're well into the second week of the 40-day gut reset, and our clients are doing really well. If you don't know what that is, I'll link it below so you can learn more about it and so you can join in on the next go around. Today though, I've been thinking a lot about how I have shifted away from the conventional methods, from physical therapy, from a dietitian to as well as functional medicine, practicing a certain way that I learned and then stepping away to really rethink the effectiveness and the efficiency, and then understanding the gap between me as a patient and me as a clinician, and sort of being in the mindset of a patient or a client going through what we're going through. I'm really going to unpack a lot of things that we're blindsided by. And I hope you listen very carefully with an open mind today as I discuss and uncover some of the human tendencies and understanding ourselves better and aligning with our true essence is really the goal of everything we do at Functional Yoga Medicine. Because unless you have the foundation set for who you are and not just what you think or who you think you are, it's sort of, that's the gap. A lot of people are malaligned, and that can cause a lot of dis-ease in the body, disease. And we work towards E.A.S.E methodology, which is a proprietary method that I created after 25 years of working in the industry of physical medicine, nutrition, wellness, functional medicine, and as well as yoga. So I want to talk about why simplifying healing is the key to lasting health. And I'm going to contextualize everything in the context of the E.A.S.E method. So in functional medicine, there's a common belief that to heal genuinely, we need to dig deeper, test more, and dissect every system in search of the root cause of dysfunction. Who can do that? Functional medicine certified practitioners like myself, who's had to work really hard for 7 years, going through all the curriculum through the Institute of Functional Medicine. Now, I'm glad I did it, and I applied it post-graduating, post-certification, but I saw a gap. And after 25 years of clinical practice as a physical therapist and a registered dietitian, and now the functional medicine practitioner, I've learned a few things along the way. I don't just blindly believe everything I learned theoretically, because what I learned in theory, it helps me to understand the human body, sans the psychology. But what happens in the body, though, is in large part driven by the psychological conditions behind everything that we do. And based on your psychology or your way of thinking and feeling, we tend to create the dysfunctions in the body. And unless we get to the root of that, by knowing thyself and understanding deeply what your tendencies, trigger, and patterns are, you're never going to really fully address and heal effectively. And I've realized that this conventional approach often overcomplicates what should be a straightforward path.
because our bodies are inherently capable of healing when they're in balance. If you really understand that, it should be, everything you do should be about regulating your own internal balance. And often the functional medical approach and then the other holistic or even conventional approaches, they tend to hyper-focus on analyzing every symptom and running exhaustive tests to see the dysfunction, which often fails to see the bigger picture. It's like taking a series of small, winding roads when trying to reach a destination, making the journey unnecessarily long, tedious, and exhausting, and oftentimes expensive. By focusing solely on the details, we lose sight of the broader map, the bird's eye view that reveals a more straightforward, more effective, and efficient strategy to achieve our goals. And when we step back and take that higher perspective, we begin to see patterns, connections, and opportunities for healing that aren't visible when we're stuck navigating the minutiae. And a well-aligned, big picture approach helps us to address the body as a whole system, which is what functional yoga medicine is all about. It's about restoring balance and creating an environment internally where healing can naturally unfold without overcomplicating the process. This is the essence of true healing. Understanding the interconnectedness of our systems, emotions, and thoughts, and crafting a strategy that honors the body's inherent wisdom to guide itself back to health. And zooming out empowers us sometimes to move toward wellness with more clarity, purpose, and ease, because you know exactly what you're looking at. You have a full map, the bigger picture. When you're down on the ground, on the road, small little roads along the way, you don't know what the big picture is. I hope this is making sense for you. And pursuing health doesn't have to feel like an endless cycle of deprivation, fear, and confusion, which often is, because we take our power, give it to the practitioner at hand, and expect them to figure it all out for us. And healing isn't about fixing the dysfunction. It's about creating balance and allowing the body's inherent, innate regulatory systems to function as designed. And this realization inspired the development of the E.A.S.E method in the functional yoga medicine, which is a simple yet profound approach to shorten and simplify the healing process drastically. So when functional medicine overcomplicates healing, nothing good comes out of it. And as a functional medicine practitioner, I once believed that the key to healing was uncovering every root cause through exhaustive tests, restrictive diets, and lengthy treatment protocols that we were taught. And at first, this seemed like the gold standard of care because we have to work and go into the rabbit hole. But over time, I realized something unsettling. I was inadvertently setting my patients up for failure. It would work for a short time, but eventually they'll revert back to their old patterns. When people don't truly understand the why behind the protocol and blindly follow it, they lose steam. They may start with enthusiasm, but they feel overwhelmed, disconnected, and defeated as time goes on. It's almost like being forced to do something when your heart's not in it. A lot of people talk about this in the context of career. Are you passionate about something that you do? Because if you are, no matter what, you're willing to go through the hardships along the way to get to where you want to go because your passion aligns with the thing you're doing. But this is the same thing. When the patient, all they want to do is feel better, but they blindly or follow a protocol that the practitioner gives them on their behalf, without them fully recognizing and owning their own body systems to really connect with it, then all hell can break loose. And here's the hard truth. What works at one point in your life doesn't necessarily continue to work. And you see this time and time again. What keto diet once did for you doesn't work the same way as you grow older and you're going through some shifts and changes internally. And the body's needs, they constantly change because we change. But many of you and practitioners get stuck in a see-do cycle. And when people don't truly understand the why behind the protocol and blindly follow it, they lose steam. And they may start with enthusiasm, excited by the promise of results, but over time, they often feel overwhelmed, disconnected, and defeated. And without a deeper connection to the purpose and process and understanding themselves at the foundation, the steps become a chore rather than a meaningful part of their healing journey. This is likened to how I talk about how we can never rely on motivation and inspiration because they're fleeting. They're not there all the time. So you have to stay focused and be vigilant about the cause and why and your deep why to keep going through all the challenges that come your way, because they will almost always be there, right there when you feel like you're making headway, something's going to happen. There's always a stumbling block. And here's the hard truth. What works at one point doesn't necessarily continue to work as we move further away from inner balance. The body's needs change over time, but many patients and practitioners get stuck in a see-do cycle. We see a protocol, follow it step by step, and hope for the best without pausing to reflect on whether it aligns with our unique evolving needs. And true transformation requires more than following instructions. It requires self-understanding. It's about getting to the root of your thoughts and feelings, ultimately driving behavior, constantly asking why to the deeper question. And when we lack awareness of the internal patterns that influence our decisions, we risk sabotaging or reverting to old habits that keep us stuck in a cycle of dysfunction. And healing begins when we take time to understand why we think, feel, and act the way we do. And this self-awareness allows us to address the underlying stressors, triggers, and emotions perpetuating imbalance. And connecting with ourselves more profoundly, we move beyond the see-do mindset and create a meaningful, sustainable changes. And transformation isn't just about fixing what's wrong externally. It's about reconnecting internally, learning how to self-regulate, and restoring balance from the inside out. And this is the key to lasting health and wellness. So let's kind of unpack a little bit the see-do cycle, a recipe for frustration. As a society, we all have social media. We become reliant on the see-do approach. We see a protocol, a trend, or a solution touted as the key to healing. And oftentimes, it's not even dictated by science. It's about anecdotal, somebody got this result, so they're sharing it with the world in the social industry today or climate today. We do it without questioning sometimes or understanding whether it aligns with our unique needs. And because most of us are not taught how to pay attention to our unique needs and feel the sensations and to understand how our thought processes and patterns are to really dictate and influence the feelings that we feel. While this might yield temporary results, it doesn't lead to sustainable transformation. I see this over and over again in functional medicine. Why? Because healing isn't about following someone else's path. It's about deeply understanding yourself. That, in a nutshell, is healing. And without that foundation, even the best protocols will fail to deliver lasting results. And that's why it works for some, doesn't work for others. I saw this pattern over and over again in my patients. They would leave one practitioner frustrated and unwell, only to repeat the same cycle with another holistic or functional doctor, wasting so much money in the process. Over time, they became disillusioned, not just with the process, but with themselves. They started believing that they were the problem and that they were deeply broken. So let me share a little bit about my journey. And my journey is one all about when overdoing health made me sick. I'm an overachiever by birth. I recognize this pattern because I was living it myself. Always doing the best, always doing excessive, almost to a point of OCD. I followed the same see-do cycle in the name of health and wellness. That's what I learned. I believed in theory and the science. I pushed my emotions and the thoughts aside, and I followed the discipline, and I followed the path. And I pushed my body to its limits, convinced that more effort, discipline, and sacrifice were the answers, because I can do that. I ignored the signs my body was giving me, gut issues, fatigue, and brain fog until they became impossible to overlook, ultimately leading to the lupus diagnosis, which is an autoimmune condition. But instead of listening to my body over time, I doubled down on the very behaviors that were making me sick. Over-exercising, thinking exercise is good. Deprivation through restrictive diets because I can't be disciplined. Ignoring sleep in favor of productivity because I gotta get the to-do lists done. And pushing through energy crashes instead of resting. This is all too familiar to me. And what I didn't realize was that my body wasn't broken. It was out of balance. And the more I focused it into submission, the further I moved away from true health. And that's why I love yoga so much, because it allows me to pause and really get in my breath, connect deeply with myself to learn and heal and balance from within by regulating my enteric nervous system, my autonomic nervous system, my somatic nervous system, and my empowered psychology in the process, which is what I call the E.A.S.E method. There's a lot more to unpack here, but let's move on to key to lasting health or healing, which is self-regulation, about the 4 systems that I just mentioned. Enteric, gut. Autonomic is your nervous system. Somatic nervous system is your musculoskeletal system. It's your ability to move. And then empowered psychology is your thoughts and feelings that you're able to leverage in your favor. Healing, I discovered, isn't about fixing dysfunctions or chasing external solutions. It's about learning to regulate the body's internal systems to work as they're designed to do. However, when we're stuck in a constant state of fight or flight, where the nervous system, autonomic nervous system specifically, is shifted out of balance towards the sympathetic, which is fight or flight, our ability to make logical, intentional choices is compromised. We become very primal. And in this survival state, our brain prioritizes immediate safety over long-term well-being. We tend to think catastrophically, interpreting any challenges as threats to your life and magnifying our fears. And you get anxiety attacks. You're always revving your engine, always tired. And instead of doing what we ought to do for our health, like nourishing our bodies, resting, or addressing stress, we do what feels primal. We avoid discomfort, seek quick relief, and often self-sabotage. And this pattern is a blind spot for most people. And when you're operating from a place of survival, it feels impossible to make progress. And you may find yourself falling back into old habits, abandoning healing protocols, or swinging between extremes like restrictive diet one day and overindulgency the next day. And this isn't because you lack willpower, it's because your nervous system is locked in a reactive state, cutting you off from the self-regulation clarity needed for true transformation. And that's when we become so primal. That means we lock into our reptilian brain. It's the base of our ability to think. The frontal lobe, our ability to evaluate and strategically think forward and paint the big picture, completely minimized and diminished oftentimes. So how do you resolve this blind spot? Well, the first step is to resolving this specific blind spot is to shift out of fight or flight and into a regulated state. When your nervous system is balanced, you regain access to your body's natural ability to heal and your mind's capacity to make thoughtful, aligned decisions. Here's what you can start, or how you can start. Number 1 is awareness of your current state. Recognize when your thoughts and behaviors are being driven by fear or avoidance. Common signals include catastrophic thinking, anxiety attacks, perfectionism, OCD, or feeling stuck in all or nothing patterns. Awareness is the first step to breaking free. Number 2 is to prioritize your nervous system regulation. Use simple tools to calm your nervous system and recreate or create a sense of safety within your body. what's so powerful is breath work, which is simply just slow, deep breathing. I call this boxed breathing or 4-7-8 breath, which signals to your brain that you're safe. All it is breathing in for 4, holding for 7, exhaling for 8. Or you can do 4 in, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold at the bottom for 4. Okay? And then there's mindful movement. And this is where yoga comes in, or gentle stretching. Helps to release stored tension and reconnect to your body through the breath. And then there's grounding techniques like walking barefoot on grass, sitting outside, and holding something warm outside, and focusing on sensory experiences like feel the air on your skin, hear the birds chirping or the wind blowing, so on and so on. You can anchor you in this present moment by doing these things. So simple, so profound. In fact, when was the last time you even did that, right? Number 3 is get to the root of your thoughts and your feelings. Instead of simply following external protocols, take time to explore emotions and beliefs driving your behaviors. Journaling, mindfulness, or working with a coach or a therapist can help uncover patterns of avoidance or fear. And then shift your perspective. When you notice catastrophic thinking, challenge it with curiosity. What's the worst that could happen? And is it really likely? What's the best outcome I can imagine? And what small step can I take to feel more in control? And then number 5, create a new feedback loop. Instead of avoiding discomfort, lean into small, manageable actions that build confidence. And each time you take step aligned with your goals, your nervous system learns that change isn't something to fear. In fact, your confidence grows and you learn that it's something you can handle. The E.A.S.E method now, moving from survival to balance. This is where the E.A.S.E method comes in. By focusing on self-regulation and simplicity, it helps you to shift out of the reactive patterns of fight or flight into a state of balance where healing can occur naturally. This method empowers you to understand your triggers and patterns, regulate your nervous system to access clarity and intentional action, and simplify the healing process so it feels sustainable, not overwhelming. And when you're no longer stuck in survival mode, you can finally do what your body needs, not just what it feels instinctive in the moment. And this is how you move from self-sabotage to self-mastery, and ultimately to healing that lasts. Remember, you guys, healing isn't about pushing harder or finding more solutions outside of you. It's not about telling yourself you haven't found the right practitioner and going from practitioner to practitioner. And that comes from the belief that other people have all the answers. It's really about reconnecting to yourself and creating ease within your body and mind, and allowing your natural resilience to guide you forward. It's about meeting yourself exactly where you are without the filter. It's about seeing yourself with honesty and compassion, and from that place of truth, making choices that align with your highest good. When you can meet yourself there, real transformation begins. You see, your success, your goals, your aspirations, if it's in alignment with your true essence, your true self, not the conditioned or expected outcome from the conditioning or expectations of other people, it's really heart-centered for you, then your body is gonna go find its balance again. And that's where health can be reclaimed. Because at the heart of this regulation is the nervous system. Because when it's balanced, the body thrives. Hormones stay in harmony, the gut functions optimally, the immune system becomes resilient, and emotions stabilize. When your nervous system is stuck in sympathetic drive and you're doing this and you're taking that, expecting all the results, listening to all the doctors, overdriving all the effort, even then the body begins to break down. This leads to hypersensitivity, food intolerance, poor sleep, and this can be perpetuated even when you are applying all the theoretical science and throwing everything at it because of this dysregulation. And the more we focus on controlling the symptoms, the less we address the problem, the root cause, which is almost always the disconnection between the mind and the body. This I know for sure. So let's talk a little bit about the cycle of self-sabotage. So the kicker for me when I realized this is that this disconnection is primal. Our reptilian brain, the oldest part of our nervous system, actually prioritizes survival over logic. When we feel overwhelmed or unsafe, we revert to patterns of self-sabotage and fear. We default to old habits and behaviors that keep us stuck in cycles of dysfunction. And oftentimes, you guys, we're not even in recognition of this. And the solution isn't more testing or stricter protocols. It's learning how to self-regulate and shift out of survival mode and into a state of ease. Only then can we adopt all the complicated scientific theories we learn into something that works for us. And this is the foundation of functional yoga medicine. So I believe the E.A.S.E method is the ultimate path to true transformation, true healing. And this is why I developed the E.A.S.E method, which is a simple, effective, and efficient system designed to help you to restore balance and reconnect with your body's innate ability to heal. The E.A.S.E method empowers you to understand yourself, move beyond the see-do mindset by understanding the unique thought patterns you possess, your stress triggers, and physiological processes or responses. And then you reconnect with your body. Learn to listen to your body's cues instead of overriding them with logic or fear. And then you create sustainable balance because you shift from state of disease to ease, where the body systems naturally regulate themselves. It's as simple as that. And number 4 is simplify healing. Focus on creating the conditions for healing rather than chasing symptoms or dysfunction. So this is why knowing yourself is key to your health and wellness. Because understanding ourselves, our patterns, triggers, and tendencies is a foundation of sustainable health. Only when we cultivate self-awareness can we move towards true vitality, wellness, and balance. And when we're in tune with our body's needs, we no longer rely on external protocols or rigid guidelines to dictate our choices. Instead, we become the architects of our healing journey, designing a life that aligns with our true selves. And this is the power of the E.A.S.E method. It offers a way to break free from the cycle of searching for answers, helping us to rediscover the simplicity of healing from within. So this is the power of truly understanding and accepting yourself. Once we truly understand and accept ourselves, our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, we can finally let go of the external noise. We no longer feel the need to live up to societal expectations, conform to trends, or chase external validation. Instead, we can begin to live authentically, free from the pressures and judgments of the world. And this deep connection to ourselves fosters a profound sense of inner peace and clarity. And when we accept who we are, with all our imperfections and uniqueness, we release the internal tension created by trying to be someone we're not. And this release has a cascading effect on our entire system. Our nervous system shifts out of fight or flight because we're no longer in conflict with ourselves. Our hormonal and immune systems stabilize as the chronic stress response diminishes. And our gut and digestive systems regulate because we're no longer holding on to emotional or mental stress that manifests physically. So, I believe alignment, the deep inner alignment, is the key to optimal regulation. When we're fully aligned with who we are, our internal systems work harmoniously. And this alignment creates a state of flow where your mind, body, and spirit support each other. Here's why. Number 1, clarity in choices. Self-understanding allows us to make decisions that truly serve us. We eat, move, rest, and connect in ways that feel intuitive and nourishing, not because someone told us to, but because it's what our body needs. And you know that deep within. Number 2 is freedom from resistance. Acceptance eliminates the internal resistance that often arises from trying to meet external expectations. And this freedom creates ease within the body, allowing for better energy flow, digestion, and healing. Number 3 is authentic living. When we live authentically, we conserve energy that would otherwise be spent on maintaining a facade. This energy can be redirected towards creativity, growth, and connection. Living fully and freely. This is where true health emerges, not just the absence of disease, but the presence of vitality and joy. And when we're deeply connected to ourselves, we live fully in the present moment without the weight of regrets or the anxiety of the future. We make choices from a place of empowerment rather than fear or obligation. We cultivate relationships that are genuine and nourishing, free from the need to prove ourselves. And when we reach this state of alignment, our systems regulate naturally and our body becomes a reflection of our inner harmony. Symptoms that once plagued us diminish because we've addressed the root cause, the disconnection from ourselves. The E.A.S.E method isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about creating a deep, lasting connection with yourself. And it provides the tools to, number 1, understand your patterns and triggers, accept yourself without judgment, and reconnect with your body's innate wisdom. Healing no longer is a fight or a struggle. It becomes a journey of self-discovery and liberation. When you align with who you truly are, you unlock the body's natural ability to thrive. And you move beyond the need for external protocols or validation and step into a life of balance, ease, and freedom. And this is the simplicity and power of healing from within. It starts with understanding yourself and ends with you living your life fully, aligned with your true nature. And that's when transformation happens. That's when your systems regulate, and that's when you truly thrive. So if you're tired of overcomplicating health this year, let's make it easy. Okay? It doesn't have to be a protocol. Stop looking for answers outside of you. Start regulating your own self. And I invite you to explore the E.A.S.E method at Functional Yoga Medicine. Whether you're a practitioner looking to simplify your approach or someone searching for lasting transformation, this method offers a clear, compassionate path forward. Healing isn't just about fixing what's wrong, it's about creating ease within yourself so that those imbalances can correct itself. I'd love to work with you. The link is in the bio and the link below to learn more about what we can do together. Thanks so much for watching and listening. I'll see you guys all next week.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Mind Your Health podcast. I hope you found our discussion insightful and inspiring. Remember, your journey to wellness is a continuous process, and every step you take brings you closer to optimal health. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with others who might benefit. Stay also connected with us on @Dr. Connie Chung on YouTube as well as Instagram for more resources and updates. Until next time, take care of your mind, nurture your body, and